All right, so this is the French onion soup recipe. And we're going to get started here real quickly by doing the onions. And we're going to cut all these mise en place here and grate the cheese. And then we're going to make croutons from a piece of baguette here that I'm going to show you how to make it so that it is fitting in the bowl and very edible so that it's easy to eat. So it's not problematic, okay? So I'm just going to lay that all out and we're going to get started. Okay, let's do it. Here we go. Let's start with the onions. We can do a couple different ways here. By cutting it in half, and maybe getting access to the skin. That's one way. Yeah, there we go. So, that, and like that. All right. So I'm going to cut like this. Cut the core right out. And go like this. Cutting it lengthwise, okay? You can see that. Don't cut it like this. Cut it like this, okay? Just like the first one. I'm trying to keep the skin out, okay? Oh, gotta take the core out. Okay, don't forget. All right, so it all falls apart because they're gonna be a little firmer and they're gonna hold up better to the cooking by cutting it this way, all right? And they're not gonna be too long, okay? They're gonna be short because if you cut it the other way, they get long and they're gonna be like, you know, way too, and you're gonna try and eat it, and it's gonna dribble over you. So don't do that, okay? Do like this. Okay. Let's put that in the bowl. What do we got here? Another bowl out of the closet here, out of the cupboard. Okay. Just like that. Oh, overflowing. Don't worry. They're all going to shrink down. And off to the side. Oh, pick a few of these up. Okay. And now we're gonna just pick these real quick. Because we're gonna pick these out. The little flowers here, which are the thyme. And you can just go like this. And if you get a little bit of the stem, well, we're gonna cut it up a little bit so that it's gonna flavor it and be delicious, okay? Oh, like that. It'll all just come off real quick. Just like this, okay. And if you don't get them all, that's okay, all right? Just like that. You could also put these in whole if you like, and then pick them out. Or you could even make a little bouquet garni, and that requires a little bit of string and tying them all up. But like this, you got them ready to go, and you kind of season it up and don't worry about anything, okay? Takes a few more seconds, but here we are. Okay. Just a rough little slicing, chopping here. Okay. Just like that, okay? I'm not chopping them up like that. I want to keep the flavor in them, so I'm just giving a little chop. Nice and quickly. Okay, just like that. All right, now we got the garlic here. I'm gonna smash them. Okay. Smashing them does have to work for you right there, because we're gonna chop it up and use it in our soup. And this way we just have to run over it a few times with our knife, and then we're halfway there, okay? Don't have to be too gentle with it. We're just cutting off the hard bits here, the stem parts, because don't need that. And then, oh, missed one. Get that out of the way. And here we go, right? Just like that. Make sure your knife's sharp, okay, guys? Don't bother running around with a dull one, because it makes this job real easy if you have a sharp one. Okay, a little rough chop like that. Going to dissolve down anyways, so it's going to be fantastic. Look at that. Okay, see how I'm holding the knife here? I'm going to do the work. Okay, there you go. And then we have the chives here. Line them all up. Use the back of your knife here so they don't scrape the blade. Okay. Just a little chop like this. It's going to make nice garnish on top of your soup. Right down to the last bit. All right. Just like that. Okay, nice little brunoise cut there. Okay, right there. And our famous parsley. So I'm going to make a little bouquets over here so I can control it and make it a little faster. So I'm not picking the leaves. I'm just kind of putting them all together. Just like this, okay? So we can put some in the soup, put some on the croutons, so we have everything ready to go. Okay, here we go. Just little bouquets like this. Tearing them a little bit so that they make the bouquet. Perfect. Okay, there we go. And if they're all dirty or sandy, or if there's any grit in there at all, you're going to have this little grip to hold on to. Just like this. Okay, let's say this was dirty. I'm going to pour water over it, just like this. And shake it off, okay? And you roll it up. You give it a quick little ciselé slice here. There you go. Okay. just like that. Same, if it's dirty, but most likely everything will come clean anyways. But just to say, if you ever find yourself in that position, that's how you do it real quick, okay? That's the answer. All right, this one's not dirty at all. None of them were dirty. It's just that I wanted to show you that so you can do it yourself, if it was at all necessary. Okay, so here we have parsley, bowl, all right. Oh, bread's falling apart on me. So, gonna make croutons out of this part for the soup. So, we cut it like this. Bread knife, of course. Okay, all lined up. And if they're a little bit bigger, yeah, give them a cut, give them a cut, give them a cut. Perfect. Just like that. Okay. Okay, and there's that. So everything's cut. I'm going to clean the board off real quick. And now we'll grate the cheese. So I'm just going to take the rind off here on one side. Just like that. And we'll leave this side on and see how it goes. Because maybe I can lean on it, get more cheese out of it. Nice sharp blades here, excellent. Makes it easy. And once you start getting to the end, use your palm so you don't cut yourself, okay? You need your fingers for other things, so don't do it, okay? Just like this. Keeps the finger. That's why I kept this piece of rind on, so that I can do that, and that's all I get left, okay? Pretty simple, eh? Excellent, 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 excellent. I have to check out time. That's what I do. Okay. But I know how to burn myself real good. I've been doing that for a living, so don't worry. Don't burn yourself. Can you see this, Rella? Well, okay. Works out? Okay. So this part here, obviously, small pan, and the intention is to cook the croutons first, so you have everything ready to go. Okay? So this is going to cook like this, all by itself. We'll have that separated and cooling while we're going to cook the actual soup itself, which is the onions here that's going to get started with. And then we'll have everything delicious. Okay. Okay, good. Hot. Okay. This is how you do croutons. Okay, we're going to let it melt a little bit. If you ever want to slow down browning of butter, you put a little salt in it. Slows it down from browning. so I got this like this. Lots of noise. Noisy. Okay. Just gonna throw these in. Put a little flavor on them. Okay, so. Oh, making a mess already.
Good thing.
Now you can cook this just like this, if you prefer, or, okay. So what we're doing is just gonna make croutons like this. So we're getting a little bit of the heat on them, oil in there. So you can leave it on here and stir it if you like, okay? And the other way to do it would be to put it in the oven, and then every once in a while, just stirring it up so that it gets evenly brown on all sides, so that it's nice and crispy and fully cooked, okay? So they're croutons, so they're firm. Not like this, they're firm, so that when you crunch them or eat them, they're crunchy, okay? So I usually put them in the oven, and then every once in a while I move around, okay? So let's do that. I'm gonna turn the heat off there. I like it hot. It's effective for a lot of things. About 450, put them in there, shake them up a little bit every once in a while, every couple of minutes. Just shake them up while you're doing whatever it is you're doing. Trying to forget, obviously. It won't take that long. Probably take about 10 minutes in the oven until it's crispy. And then after that, you pour them out into some sort of a tray so they can cool and stop cooking, obviously, because if they stay in the pan, they will keep cooking, okay? So that's the main idea, all right? So we'll monitor those as we keep doing everything else that we're doing for this lovely soup. So, I got this on again. This is for the soup itself, all right? So we're gonna get this up a little temperature. Then we're gonna start with the onions, obviously, because that is our main objective, is to cook this out. That's what we really wanna do. We wanna cook them out, and then not to a caramelized stage. We don't want them brown because they're not making something sweet here. This is a soup. It should be savory, so we're not gonna cook them too far. You'll see how it goes. You'll see the color of what I would say is classic, typical, and something that everybody enjoys. Sometimes they are overcooked, which is then they start to get really brown. They look like this before you put the sauce in, or the stock in, I should say, and then it becomes really sweet. And that's not really what we're looking for, okay? So let's see how we are. Starting to get all warm in here, all right. You can hear that? All right. So let's start putting this in. Here we go. Oh, I dropped one. And can add a little of this in there. Salt never hurt nobody. It's delicious. Good. All right. There we go. This doesn't take that long, really. It just has to get enough heat in them so they cook and reduce down, with evaporating all the liquid out of it. And then slowly we'll add all the other components to it, okay? Look at that. And yes, it's on high heat if anybody's wondering, okay? You can see in the flame down there, it's hot, okay? But I'm paying attention to it. I'm stirring it. I'm not letting it just sit, okay? You could obviously let it sit. You could put a lid on it, obviously, and then all the liquid that's supposed to evaporate will then obviously condense and stay inside the pot, and then turn it into its own little soup right there. But what we want to do is kind of cook these out, make sure all the liquid evaporates. We want to use this as the soup, so we can have onion soup the way it's intended to be. Okay? Nice and flavorful. Slowly breaking down. Yeah? All these pieces in here are going to be perfect spoon sizes. Don't worry. And if you're worried or if you feel that it's getting to be a little tacky on the bottom, you can always turn the temperature down, okay? That's what the dial's for, all right? You turn it on high, turn it to medium, and it's going to stop from being tacky because the water will start to form a little bit because evaporation will slow down, and then you will have less of a problem, depending on what kind of vessel you're using. This is obviously a nice earthenware here from Le Creuset that we use, so that it's pretty good for this kind of product. Again, this kind of soup is perfect. It's kind of what it was made for. I'm glad I have it. Okay. So there's going to be a little bit of color eventually, but right now it's still like white. It's still a blanc. It's still undercooked. So we want to get it a little more cooked than this. Probably going to reduce it down by half still. The volume, that is. You can see how this is now. And this is probably about a 10-inch diameter pot. And it's probably about 2 inches coming up on the side here. Just follow along. Just see, like, imitate what I'm doing. You know, you don't have to be this attentive to the stirring of it, obviously, if you turn it down. Also, you know, how much time do you have is the question. So if you have less time, then stay on high and stir it. If you have more time, you turn it down, you know. Be flexible. Okay? Because you can see on the bottom here, if you can see on the bottom of the pan, see what's happening there? There's not a lot of liquid there. There's actually none at all. We're just using the little bit of oil that we used to start, and the oil and the water that's coming out of the onions, and everything's fine on high heat. But just watch. That's the whole thing. You gotta watch what's happening. We're gonna tell you everything you need, pretty much exactly what you need, more or less. You know, whether it's a few grams more of onion or garlic, won't make a difference. It's gonna be great. I mean, obviously, if I sent you an extra kilo, that would ruin everything. But we're not. Okay? It all makes sense within the parameters. No garlic, or a little onion. Flying onion. There we this should be fun. This should be something that you enjoy doing. It's not, that hard to do once you kind of get the idea of it all. It's just a matter of cooking them out properly, not burning them, of course. We're cooking, we're not overcooking, as I like to say. I'm just pulling everything off the sides here, so everything will cook evenly, of course. And if you start to get brown on the bottom and you feel like you're not able to control it anymore, then what I do is I turn it off, or I take it off the heat and I let it sit. And the actual liquid, the steam that's coming out of the actual onions, will then start to produce a small pool in the bottom of the pot. And then that way, whatever the heat is coming will then make a way that it will take away. And what we call this browning, sometimes we call it a foamed or like the caramelizing on the bottom. And because the water will form, because the heat's off, because now you're not evaporating anymore, inside here, you're going to start to get all this like pooling of water. And then that will be able to then give you the ability to scrape the bottom. It's even happening right now. Like it's very easy now. It's coming off very easily, which is what's going to color the onions themselves. Oh, there you go, see? Even on this side, you can kind of see that, right? You see that? And it'll all dissolve once you put the veal stock in there, okay? So don't worry about that. Just stir it in there, ever so. It'll give it a nice flavor. We're not going to do it like very strong or very hard so that everything is like dark brown, but we're going to give it a little bit of color because that's tasty, all right? But we want a little bit of that onion flavor there that's not sweet but oniony. So it's got nice, rich, good soupy flavor. And whoever you make this for is going to appreciate the time and the effort because you're going to tell them all about it, okay? Tell them everything. Tell them how long it took, every second. See, look at that. Clean the entire bottom, and all we have to do is turn it off for a second, or for a minute. Literally, a minute. I mean, it's even coming on the sides a touch, but that's because it's an open flame. If you had some sort of a burner, like the induction burner or just like a glass surface, you wouldn't have the heat coming up because the heat comes up on a flame like this, on open gas. Go on full heat here, guys. Full heat, okay? And like I said, I turned it so that I can get even cooking. I don't burn them, but I get nice and browning everywhere. Yeah, that's right. We're getting some color here, which is good. What we kind of want. A little bit more, a couple more degrees of browning on here. Okay. Don't get too impatient. Sometimes it takes longer than you want it to. So we've got the flour in here, so we're mixing it up, and the flour should be fine because you're mixing it with the onions, okay? And you turn it down so that there's no lumps. So you just stir it out, okay? It's gonna stick together a little bit, but that's okay. And then throw everything in here. Put it all in there. Slowly. I don't make a mess or splash too much, you know? So turn the heat off for a second so it stops reducing. And I'm gonna mix all this in. Okay. And the bay leaves you can just kind of pick out with chopsticks, your fingers, whatever you want. Okay. I'm gonna get that whole flavor in there to mix together. These fresh bay leaves are fantastic, okay? Don't buy the dried stuff. It's never gonna be the same, okay? We're gonna send you fresh stuff. It's fantastic. It's the best. It's delicious. Okay? Sometimes I put a little water in it to get every drop out, okay? It's gold, okay? Don't waste it. Okay, so now I'm just gonna stir it up a little bit. And I don't wanna really reduce this down. So if we have to add a touch of water at some point, because it's getting too low, we will. So just be monitoring it so you don't get less than what you have now, okay? We've got basically 3 cups worth here almost. Well, just over 3 cups. So you don't want it to reduce down. This is perfect for just a little over 2 portions here. Healthy portions, of course. We're not gonna be cheap here. Okay, so this is fantastic. We've got everything that was sitting on the bottom that was kind of stuck to the pan. We've released now into the sauce, or the soup, I should say, which is kind of like a sauce a little bit here. All right, so we're gonna leave this alone to cook. Okay, so low heat, simmering just gently, of course. And you can leave this for 20 minutes just to cook the bay leaves, get all the flavor out of there, and then the soup will be ready to go. All right, it doesn't take longer than that because we're gonna get the onion flavor into the liquid, which is the veal stock. We get the bay leaf flavor, we're gonna get the thyme, and a touch of garlic that we cooked out, all gonna seep in there. And then at the end, right before we're ready to go, we're gonna season with salt and pepper, okay? Make it delicious, all right? We'll be back in a minute. So, we've taken the croutons out of the oven, nice golden brown, crispy, so they're firm. So when they sit inside the liquid, they don't get soggy. Well, too soggy too fast. Anything that sits in the liquid will obviously get soggy at some point. Okay, so I'm gonna turn the heat on. By heat on, I mean flame, pan. Scratch my back for a second. And then I put this in. All this, I don't know why I make that sound, I just still do it. Okay, a little bit of garlic in there. Infuse the flavors in here. Oh, crouton down. Oh, 2 croutons down, oh boy. Okay, just gonna get some of that juicy goodness in there. All right, that's all it takes, all right? Good flavor, okay? Okay, just drying it out a little bit so that they don't make them soggy. This parsley and garlic, that's why we cook it like that, okay? Okay, just dry. Let's wash this off real quick. All right. Always be cleaning up after yourself. All right. So this pot here is our soup. So this soup here has been sitting and getting good flavor in it. Oh yeah, see the viscosity? Can you see that? Oh yeah, that's good. And if you see one of these beautiful And you want to take them out after they've been sitting in there for about, well, let's say about half an hour. You don't even have to stay that long, but if you are, that'd be great. And you can just take them out afterwards, put them on the side, okay? Obviously give it a taste. See what it's missing, okay? If it needs some salt and some pepper, like this does, then put some in, okay? Spoon. Get it down in there in the bottom. Just get all the flavors going. Okay, nice, deep, rich. Huh? Look at that color in there. That's good color. It's gonna be tasty. I can see that already. Getting there. Put these knobs of butter in there because that's delicious. A little more salt. Okay. So this is where we have the rubber hit the road, folks. Okay. So let's bring this into the picture here without making too much of a mess, of course. So these are the vessels that I'm using, okay? You don't have to have these type of vessels. They could be a soup bowl. It could be anything, okay? A vessel like this, you put in the oven. Doesn't matter what it is, as long as there's a liquid in it. Whether it's this soup or something else, a fluid, you don't have to worry about the bowl. It could be anything. They won't crack because there's a liquid in it. All right. The liquid itself will keep this from cracking, even if this was some fine bone china. Okay. So don't worry about what it is, what kind of vessel you have. If you happen to have a classic onion bowl like this, then go ahead and obviously use it. But if you have something that's not, then that's just as good. And like I said, because you're putting the soup in the liquid, it doesn't matter what kind of vessel it is. If it's even really super fine china, it can handle the heat because we're putting the soup in it. Because the soup is going to be 100 degrees and less. This will never reach above that because the soup's in it, okay? So now you know, so don't worry. So the soup is cooking. It's hot, just the way we like it, of course. So there's that. It's all mixed in there. We've got seasoning, okay? And take this out, turn it off. All right, I'm gonna put a little cheese in the bottom here because who doesn't like cheese? Okay. All right. Then I'm gonna get the ladle out because that would have been smart to have at the very beginning, because that'll get it all into the bowl. Okay. All right. Oh, there we go. See, a couple of bay leaves in there. Put those on the side. There's another one. Smell wonderful, actually, if you smell these. They smell great. It's all about the freshness. Never buy the stale ones or the dried ones, which I just call stale because that's what they are, sitting on shelves forever. So continue filling until you get to the desired height. All right. Let's pretend that this is what you're going to do at home, because you need to save some space for the croutons. All right. And why am I putting on this tray? Because we're going to cook it. Oh, there we go. See, 2 more bay leaves. Right? Just like that. Okay. All right. So why don't we do this? so you can see better. Right? So now I'm going to put the croutons on. Then I'm going to put the cheese on, and then I'm going to put this in the oven. We're going to put this so that the cheese starts to melt, and then we're going to assist it by bruleeing it with a little bit of a blowtorch, okay? Small, inaccessible one that you can get anywhere, anytime, okay? So we're going to go like this. And we're going to put it on the tray, so don't worry about making a mess, because this is what's going to stop it from being a problem, okay? It's not going to go everywhere. So we're just going to go sprinkle it on top. All right, look at that. Coming right to the rim. Nice presentation, okay? Crispy, crunchy, delicious Gruyere cheese on top. So I'm just going to put this in like this on top. Going to use it all, okay? That's right. Going to use it all. Here we go. Okay, so now I'm going to take this to the oven, and I'm going to put it in there, and we're not going to be in there very long. So let's start at 30 seconds. It's 450 degrees, okay? So it won't take that long at all. We're just doing it to melt it ever so slightly. Okay. See? Look at that. So we're just getting assistance from the oven, so it doesn't burn them too much. See? Now you kind of play with it. There you go. See this? Oh yeah, there we go. Woo! Look at that. All right, nice brulee on top. Okay. Nice chives. Part of the onion family. Okay. And there you are. Now we have French onion soup, okay? Just the way God intended. So let's try some and make sure it's delicious, all right? Okay, so we got the croutons in there that we cut up on purpose. So when we scoop, we don't get a whole bunch in our mouth and make a mess, all right? Not that I'm against making a mess, but sometimes I don't want hot soup in my lap. Okay? Okay, so look at that. See? So I'm already have to fight with it, but at least it's very easy to separate, right? Mouthful of delicious cheese. A delicious crouton that we've made tasty with garlic, butter, parsley, salt, pepper, of course. And then the broth, which is fantastic with cheese. Who doesn't like cheese? Oh boy, there we go. It's everywhere. So I hope that you've made this at home and it looks very similar to this. I hope you're able to achieve this kind of look at least. I mean, it doesn't have to be in this type of bowl, like I said. But if it comes anywhere similar to this, you've done a great job. And I hope you keep trying to do excellent food at home, okay? So I'm going to enjoy this. And we'll show you how to do something else the next time, okay?